Our ideas and belief in economic justice, in social justice, in racial justice, in environmental justice, our ideas are the future of this country, bringing millions of young people into the political process.
Millions of young Americans voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primaries. Many of those had never been interested in politics before. But as we move towards a Clinton-Trump election, what's going to happen to Sanders' political revolution? Will the people inspired by Sanders stay involved in politics? And if so, how? We've come to the People's Summit, a progressive conference in Chicago, to find out.
When I was in high school, walking home, I was approached by an officer who thought that I was standing around too long and, pulled a gun on me and pointed it directly at my face and said I needed to leave. And early on, that brought me to understanding the lack of power that often marginalized communities have, especially communities of color and the Black community. Senator Sanders' campaign was a spark to the movement to transform this country. When he came out and really started speaking to the issues of Black Lives Matter, police brutality in this country, and systemic racism in this country, I had experienced that.
Bernie Sanders, I would like to welcome you to this place called Seattle.
I first became interested in Bernie when I saw him being interrupted by Black Lives Matter, and he addressed the issues. He let people who care about those issues and are fighting against them to speak and have their word heard. I looked into him, and he also stood for many of the other causes and issues that I care about. I quit my job so that I could devote all my time to Bernie, and I've dedicated my life to the Bern.
I'm from the Flint, Michigan area. When I found out about the water, that our water was polluted, it really did something to me. The water that was coming out the faucet was literally brown. I've been working on the crisis by volunteering my time and was able to meet Bernie Sanders. He wanted to know some things about what was happening in Flint, and I realized that passing out water was only a short-term solution. Our long-term solution has to be infrastructure and health care. We need to restore democracy back to Flint.
I am proud to announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
I was there in Burlington when Bernie Sanders announced, and the whole Bernie movement has changed my life. His message about how we need a more egalitarian society, that is something my parents have always told us about America when they got here. That was their dream. I feel like this is the time where my voice will actually carry.
My life has changed tremendously since this water crisis has happened, and I want to make a change bigger by running for office.
Senator Sanders' campaign really inspired me to know that there is a growing movement for change, and we've just got to solidify that now.
What I'm doing, for example, in my own community is running for state committee and also pushing people like myself who look like me to run for office.
It's clear that Bernie Sanders has started a movement. These supporters realise it might take time for change to happen, but they're convinced that they and others can make a difference.
I've thought about running for office, and this moment with Senator Sanders standing up and getting this much support has really made me think about that again.
I really do think that Bernie has saved my life. I was going down a bad direction. He made me want to make the world a better place, and through that, myself.
What I've learned on this campaign is that everyday people have incredible amounts of power, especially when we all come together.
It is imperative that people realize they can make a change. So many people feel like they're forgotten. They feel like that their vote doesn't matter. They really feel like they're just a small fish in a big pond, and that's not true. The smallest groups are the ones that makes the biggest impacts.
We have to continue this, and it's by staying active and engaged with the issues, and then electing ourselves to serve and be the government that we all want to see.